All right. This is the chart that I have given you, and I wanted to really focus in on this piece here. Um, this is essentially the analysis part, and I want to kind of talk about this. This is like I interpret, right? This is the author suggests, conveys, intimates, refers to, represents, right? This is that would be about symbolism. It's on a figurative level, figuratively speaking, right? Comma. The author makes a comparison, right, between Ralph at the beginning of the story or Ralph at the end. Roger, when he's throwing little bitty rocks, little bitty pebbles at small children at the beginning of the book and at the end of the book, right? All of this is to say that the evidence needs to be doing something. You need to be thinking about the evidence. And what are the thinking that you are having? You are thinking symbolically. You are thinking in terms of making connections. You are thinking figuratively. And so all of that is trying to get you to think. Right. So all of these are ways to help you think and to write up then a then said paragraph. So this is like an old essay that I wrote. It's from a book called In Drums, Girls, and Dangerous Spy. So in Drums, Girls, and Dangerous Spy, comma, Stephen changes from being an attention-seeking to a more empathetic and aware big brother. So I start with a main idea, my argument, right, from the beginning of the book, to the end in the novel, comma. Stephen learns that his little brother Jeffrey has leukemia. So all of this is in some ways, it's not paraphrasing, but in this sense, all of this section and what I am doing here, oops. And what I am doing here is that notice that this thing is about half. This part is argument, right? And setting up the context. That's what I'm doing here, right? And then after that, getting used to using these types of all these little tools I have, right? The rest of it is after the quote, and all the stuff after the quote is analysis, right? And if you actually include the first sentence, this is analysis. 50% of your paragraph, you need to be teaching me something about a quote, right? You're using evidence to kind of teach me, and what are you teaching me? Think about all the things in that chart. All right. So when he first hears about his brother's cancer, he envies his little brother who gets to have the time for school while he may stay home with his silent and distant dad. However, because he writes the story after everything has happened, he realizes his mistake. For example, when he writes about his journal during that time, he is embarrassed. You can see how folding the page down was a good call on my part. The pages that he folded down were angry rants about how Jeffrey has it easy, so I have it as a paraphrase. These rants represent, boom. I didn't actually use exactly the exact same language, but I'm getting there. His selfish desire for attention and his lack of understanding about cancer. So all of this, right, is in some sense teaching you about this quote. By folding down the pages and feeling lucky that he did, Stephen acknowledges the lack of empathy and understanding his former self had for Jeffrey's sickness. So all of this big section here, mm, all of this big section here, right, is sort of analyzing this quote, right? Um, so we start off with a nice, strong introduction sentence. We have our quote, right, where we lead into the quote. We then analyze said quote, all right? And then I have a conclusion sentence. Because Stephen is narrating about his prior journals and reflecting on how wrong he used to be, he has transformed from an immature to a mature young man. All of this is to say that I'm really focusing on my initial argument. I set up my quote, I then give my quote, but then I say something intelligent about my quote, right? I teach the reader something. Is it comparing from the beginning to the end of the book? Is it character analysis? Is there symbolism? So all of this is to say, use this box to push your thinking.